Hello everybody, come in and join me. I'm working on Christmas ornaments today and I'm getting ready for a show in Gatlinburg, Tennessee in October. So I've been doing Christmas ornaments now for about 6 weeks. So today I'm going to walk you through what I'm doing. I am Judy and you are visiting with Vintage to Chic. I hope you'll come back again and follow along with us. I'm going to walk you through these shapes that I've been sitting here working on these. And this is an oval. This is an oval shaped ornament. And they come in 2 pieces, just like so. And one fits down inside the other. There's a little ridge around here. Okay? Ooh, I got a little bug flying around my face. There's a little ridge around here that connects the 2 of them together. So what you want to do, I'm putting the picture on the inside of the ornament. It's in here like so. So I'm going to put it down in there and it'll be just like it's under glass. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, I've got some cardstock. I've made my patterns here, printed out my designs and made me some designs, printed them on mulberry paper. And I've got some cardstock here in my hand. I'm going to lay this with the one that fits on the inside. This little ledge here is the inside ledge. And your cardboard has to go down in that to rest on that ledge of the other one. There's a little... If you run your finger around in here, you can feel that edge. Well, my cardboard has to fit in, down in that, inside that edge. So to create that, I have taken this little piece with the outside edge, lay it on my paper using cardstock, and I'm going to cut. I'm going to take my pencil, and Trace, you see I'm leaning my pencil over because there's 2 edges on that, and I want the inner one. There's 2 little levels here, and I want the inner level. So I've laid that down there, and I've cut it out. Okay, so I've already got it cut out. I'm going to lay that aside after I cut that out. Now I've got the design here. I would lay my piece on my design. I've got a bug running around in my face here. Try to get rid of him. And gnats are here today now. I laid this down on top of my print like so. And I traced around it also, and I cut this one out. This is a real pretty little print that I cut out of the mulberry paper, okay? So now I can lay this aside, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to decoupage this onto my cardboard. This is just a piece of regular cardstock. And I'm going to take my decoupage glue, which is Mod Podge, lay that on my cardboard as good as I can there. And I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. I use Mod Podge with a little bit of water in it. I'm going to hold that up, put me some glue on there. Always working from the middle out. Go in here and work that out. Then I'm going to turn it around and go the other end. And get it in here again. Get it completely down on that board. Take my saran wrap here and just press it out to the edges. I want to get it all covered down. Let's make sure I've got my edges covered here. Go back in and put a little more on my edges here that didn't glue down good. You need that glue all the way around, okay? Now I'm going to put a coat of glue on top of it to seal it in here. Doing craft show this year, I decided to do a lot of small pieces, so I'm trying to stay under the $25 range. So that's why I'm doing a lot of ornaments, and I've already done a whole slew of them in the last month. Okay, now I'm going to lay that up there to dry. And I'm going to take one here that I have already dried. And my next step on that, don't need my glue anymore. My next step on that is to put some varnish on it. So I've taken some varnish. I used Jo Sonia's varnish here. This one happens to be satin. I used a gloss. This is, you'll find this in the links here on my page, okay? And I've used that, put it in a little cup here, and I've put a coat of varnish. Just took my brush and put a coat of varnish on there. I dried it, and I put a second coat. Then my third coat of varnish, I wanted there to be glitter on this. If you look how I turn it, you can see that there's glitter on my paper. I wanted that to be on there. So my third coat of varnish, I put glitter in my varnish. I put my varnish in a little cup. These little cups come from Dollar Tree. Then I put glitter into my cup. And turn my phone down. Okay, put glitter into my cup, and I put a coat of varnish on there with the glitter on it, okay? So I've got that one done. That was the next step. Now my next step is to put it inside the ball, inside the ornament here. So this time I want it to go on the side that is down. I got to find the one that's got the little ledge on the inside, okay? This is the back of my ornament. This will be the back part. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to lay that right down in there. Make sure it fits real good. Sometimes I have to trim them a little bit. You may have to trim it to get it in there. You don't want it to go down past that little ledge that's in there. That little ledge will stop it. Okay, I feel like I need to trim just a little bit off of this edge over here. So I'm very lightly just hairline trimming that. Flip over here on my paper and trim off any excess paper also, where after I put that on there, I see a little bit of excess of the pattern on there. Okay, now I think I'll try it again. Put it in here. Like I said, you don't want it to go down in the egg. You want it to stay up on that, on the oval. Take my fingernail. Very lightly take it around till it fits right on that little ledge that's inside there. See, I've got a little lip there. That little bit of a lip. I don't want it to go down in there because this is, you know, then it would just fall down in my piece. Then I'm going to take my upper part. This is my top part. And I'm going to see that it fits here. And it does. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue. I'm using diamond glaze. You can use whatever glue you have, but I just happen to have diamond glaze. And I'm going to put just a little bit on this edge. Doesn't take very much. I'm just going to kind of hit and miss because I want to glue these two together now. The two parts of my oval are going to become one. When I work on things, I always work on more than one piece at a time. So I'm sitting here now and I'm working on 4 of these. Now I'm going to press that right in, getting my top up there. Got a little glue on my fingers. Up here where my top goes together, I'm going to press that in first. Then I'm just going to press it down till it locks. And it's locked in there. Be sure you go around and take off any of the excess glue you might have there. Okay? Now, I've got it inside the oval, and you can see the butterfly in there. It's really pretty. Okay. Now my next step is to do the back of this ornament. Okay, this is the top. This is the back one. On the backs of them, I first used a coat of sealer. I wanted to seal this. I painted the backs white, and I wanted to seal this. So I can do this one. Show you this one that I've just done. And I use a sealer by Josanya. Let me get that glue off of there before it dries on there. Don't want any of that glue. Now I need to seal that because it's, you know, put a sealer on it before I put my white paint on it. Okay, you could use chalk paint probably, but I'm not a real big chalk paint person, so I like the sealer. I'm using a Josanya's all-purpose sealer. This is what I use right here. This is called Josanya by Chromie. It's all-purpose sealer. And I've put a little bit of that out in a cup, put it out in a dish like this, and then I just brushed it on. Now when I brush it on there, it dries clear. So this one has a coat on it, and it's all dried. It takes just a couple of minutes to dry that. Then I'm ready to put a coat of white paint on there. My white is just about empty. Okay, I'm going to go back in here and I'm ready to put a coat of white paint on this one. And I don't want to get it, I'm not going to put it over on the front. So I'm just going to carefully put it on the back here. I only need one coat of white because I'm going to go back in and paint that, but I want to seal it first with the white before I paint it. So I just need one coat of this white paint on there. Anytime I'm doing, if I was going to do this whole ornament, I would just spray paint it. I've got some ready to, to work on and not have to leave the glass, then I would just spray paint it with my Rust-Oleum 2-in-1. I just take them outside and spray paint them, a coat of spray paint on them. Okay, now I've got that one. I'm going to lay it aside, and I'm go back to one here that I've already done. I've already finished. And I've got a Santa here. You see he's down in the bulb, and he's glued in, and the white paint's on the back of him. So now I'm ready to put my coat of paint to finish out this back with some paint. So I'm going to use some blue. This is to carry out this blue that's on this Santa. I'm going to use a little bit of blue. I'm going to put it out over here on my palette. And I want this to be textured, to be a textured paint when I put it on there. So I'm going to take a little bit of my blue and put it out. Won't take very much. I probably got out more there. Then I'm going to take just a little bit of regular kitchen baking soda. This is going to give me a texture to my paint. I'm going to pour a little bit of that on my palette. And I'm going to mix that in my paint till I get a texture that I like. I'll take my palette knife, pick me up some of that baking soda, and just mix it right into my paint. You can just choose the color you want on the back of your ornament, just to coordinate with what you got on the front. Doing craft shows, your money makers in the craft shows. I've been doing craft shows for 40 years, more than 40 years. This one I'm doing the only one I do now is Gatlinburg. I live in the Gatlinburg Pigeon Forge area, so I'm still doing it. It wasn't for years. I live in West Virginia, but that's the only one I do now, and I'm going to be there 18 days in October. And your money makers at craft shows are your small items. You're going to sell some big items, but your real money makers are your small ones. Now I'm going to take a stencil brush. I've got that, I think, about the way that I want it, and I'm going to put it on with a stencil brush because I want it to be a texture to it. So I'm just going to tap it on there, getting as close to that edge as I can without going over it. You can make it as texturized, as much texture on it as you want. You can make it real heavy texture, or just, a little bit by the amount of baking soda you put in your piece there. This one will be blue. I think this is the only blue one I got. That one's got a green in it, and this is a cat. This has got, those two will probably be a green. The other three I probably can put the same color because I'll do like a sage green on those others. I wanted to try to finish one so you can see what I'm doing. Very quick when you sit down. When you work assembly style, if you're working to sell stuff, best way to work is assembly style. I never work on one thing unless it's just something I'm teaching or it's something really big. Otherwise, I work on a number of items at one time. While I'm waiting for this one to dry, I can have another one ready to go. So if you're working toward shows, when I'm doing shows, getting ready to do a show, I keep a running inventory. I create a notebook for that show, and when I start working toward that show, I keep a running inventory written down in that book. I write down everything I do and make a list of it. Now I need another brush. That one, if you wash a stencil brush, then it's not any good for a while. You can't use a wet one. So I got to get me another one out over here. See what I got here. because I'm going to go back in. There's one. I want one that's not real stiff, that's just about a wore out one. I'm going to dry this real quick, so I'm going to put this one with the blue on it in my water over here to clean, and I've got a clean one out. I'm going to take my dryer and I'm going to dry this real quick. See what I got there. Yeah, I've got it dry. Now I'm going to put some shimmer glaze on it, and I think I'm going to use the white on this one. So this is Pin Art Shimmer Glaze by Pin Art, which is a really good stuff. I keep it in the white and the gold, and I'm going to use that now to go over to put a little bit of color on that. You can put as many colors on there as you want, but I don't want it just to be plain blue here. That bug is still bothering me. I want it to be a little bit of white on it. Okay, I'm going to tap this down into my glaze, then tap it in up in my lid a couple times so it won't be just a big blob on my brush. And I'm going to go right back in with that white. And I'm not going to put as much as I did of the blue. I'm just going to put it here and there. This has got a shimmer to it, which is why it's called shimmer glaze. Comes in different colors. Okay, done with that one. Now, see, I've got the Santa. Then when you turn him around, you'll see the dark on the back. Okay, I'll show you the finished. I'm going to dry this one now. Okay, now I'm going to put a coat of varnish on this one. I want it to have a little bit of a shine to it. So I've got my varnish here, and I'm going to take a little bit of gloss, this Josonia's gloss varnish, put it in my cup, and I'm going to brush it on the back of my ornament. See? This will give it a really nice, pretty shine. I like to do at least two coats of the varnish. Sometimes I do a whole lot of coats, according to what I'm working on. If I'm working on something to make it real durable, at times I've put as many as 15, 20 coats of varnish on a piece. But this one's not something that's going to be handled a lot. So, see how pretty that puts a sparkle in it? Now I've got one coat on there, and I'm going to go back in with my one this one's got the glitter in it. See, I literally put the glitter, shook it right into my container here, and I use a glitter that is called Go Create from Hobby Lobby. This is what I use. It's an iridescent glitter from Hobby Lobby, And I'm going to go right back in now with some of that, and I'm going to go right over top of it and put a little bit of glitter on it. Very lightly pulling that over because I want it, the glitter to really show up there. See, I can pick up a lot of glitter on my brush out of that varnish, and that varnish just holds that glitter on there. You can put as much as you want. Just gives it a real good, real nice look. See? Now that's hard. I know that's hard for you to see that glitter on there. Okay. Now I'm back to drying it again. This one takes a little bit longer to dry. I've got quite a bit of varnish on there. I don't think it's quite, it's almost dry enough, not quite. It's a real pretty shine on it. Okay. Now I'm going to, see, I've got it done. I've got the Santa in there on the inside, you can see, and then I've finished out the back. Now to finish it, I'm going to put some bling right down the seam here where the egg joins together. I'm going to get me some color down here. Let's see what I've got. I believe I got some blue. I should have got that out before I started. I thought I had some blue, but I might have used it all. No. Okay, I'm almost, now I'm ready to get my, I'm going to use two colors. And this one is just this, I buy this from, these come from Amazon. I'll put a link in the, you'll see a link in the description with that. And I'm going to use my E7000 glue to put this on with. Okay. I'm going to start right up here to the top. And I'm going to put 2 rows of it on because I want to hide that. See, I need, it's not real good and dry yet, but I'm going to play with it anyway. I need to hide that seam that goes around through there. Don't want to see that. Okay. So I'm going to start right up here to the top. And I'm going to go down through here with my glue. This is B7000. Clean the tip off a little. Excuse me. Come right down through there. I always forget to turn my phone off, and inevitably it will ring. Okay, now I'm going right down through that. This stuff is amazing, this glue is, because it dries to the, it dries real quick, but you still have a little bit of time to work with it. Go right on around. Doesn't take but a teeny tiny little bit to put those beads on there. Take it right up to the top. I'll finish it out with bows on the top, which I don't have ribbon and stuff out here. I'll have to tie bows, but you'll see the picture. The finished picture will be on my, you'll be seeing the finished picture anyway. So I'm going to take that right up to the top there. And I'm going to clip it right where it meets the top of that thing. Since I'm going to put a bow on there, I don't have to take it all the way around where the little hole, the little hanger part is there. I can take it right up to that because I'm going to put a bow on the top of it. Okay, that gets one coat on there, one thing of glitter. And I want it to be a little thicker, so I'm going to put another row, but I'm going to change the color. And I'm going to put a little bit of black on here. So I'm coming right in behind that one. And take my black one down. The bling just makes everything stand out. It's a very simple project. You'll be able to do it in no time. And you'll have them, you could sit here in a day's time. I could do probably 20 of these, or 25 of this particular design. When I'm working for shows, I work, I do inventory of the day. I try to do between $200 and $300 worth of stock every day. And I do some big pieces. You'll see from my things, I do some big pieces, but you're going to sell more. It's called cash and carry. You're going to sell more small things at a show than you do large items. So I want to get it. Now I'm going to take this one in behind that, right up to the next thing there, because it goes right in behind the bail. So I'm going to clip that off right there and put me a little glue, and it's going to go right behind where the hanger is. Get it right in there. Okay, now see, my back is still not exactly totally dry because that's a lot of thickness on the back there. I'm going to put the top on this glue real quick because it, well, I would if I could find my top. There it is. This stuff dries out real quick, so you want to be sure you put your top right back in there. Okay, now I'll go back in, and after I've got them all, I'll do a bunch of them at one time, and then I'll go back and I'll fix me a bow that fits. And usually I put two bows and put one on the front and one on the back, and I'll put me a string on the top, a ribbon or a chain or something that holds it up on the top. And we're finished. I love that little blue Santa. Okay, it's all done on the back. That's the one I'm doing. And then this one has a butterfly in it, and this one has a kitty cat in it. And then the one we just glued down, which is this one, will go in my other one up here. This will be, so I'm sitting here working on 4. This will be another one. This one's real pretty too. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you're on YouTube with me, I hope you subscribe. Hope you come back and watch us. The more watch hours we get, the better it is for me. I thank you for joining me today. Goodbye.